And now we have another one, and it just seems like they just keep falling one after another, and it's like a domino, and eventually it feels like Bobby Kotick's gonna be the last man standing with like he's like holding the flag up at Alamo, ready to be the last resistance. Yo, what's up? So today we're gonna be talking about some more Activision Blizzard stuff because, surprise to nobody, the saga continues and they're in another bit of hot water, I'd say. So let's go ahead and get into two articles that I have discussing two separate things that have happened in the past like day or so. All right, so we have U.S. government now investigating Activision Blizzard Bobby Kotick subpoenaed. Okay, so in normal Kotaku fashion, most of their article is completely useless. So I highlighted what's actually informative here because the rest is just, it doesn't matter. So the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has reportedly launched a wide reaching investigation into Activision Blizzard, with the government agency looking into how the embattled publisher handled multiple allegations of sexual harassment, abuse, and toxic behavior that became public following a California Department of Fair Employment and Housing lawsuit filed in July. The SEC has subpoenaed Activision and several of its high ranking executives, including CEO Bobby Kotick. Now, if we thought investigation from an entire state was something, how about from a national level entity? Now, of course, the US Securities and Exchange Commission mostly deals with stock markets and trading kind of stuff, which is in fact what this entire investigation is about. So now Activision Blizzard is being sued by the state of California. They have a class action lawsuit levied against them by investors of the company. They also have another investigation that was headed up by a better ABK for possible infringements on their rights to talk about their protected activities. And now they also have an investigation from the SEC. So Activision Blizzard is losing on probably multiple legal fronts here. Now, I don't mean like they're going to lose the lawsuits. I have no idea how those are going to handle. Go look at Hoag Law's videos. He does excellent job covering this from a legal sense. But from a spectator who's not in the law, this just sounds absolutely horrible because it looks to me like every single agency in the country that possibly can is now going after Activision Blizzard. It looks like Activision Blizzard has failed on every possible front, so much so that all of these things are happening at once, and it paints a horrendous picture for the company. This company, it could be or it could not be. I might be wrong, but it just seems like it's just going way down from here, pretty much. Just based on all of these investigations and all of these things that have come to light, it really feels like the company is just struggling to hold on. So, the investigation is about looking out for the company's investors, investigating to figure out whether Activision and its executives correctly and adequately disclosed allegations of workplace harassment and gender pay issues to investors and other related individuals, and if these disclosures happened quickly enough. Now, basically, what this means is that when they were being investigated by the state of California for some 2 years, they didn't disclose that. And investors felt like, hey, this is information we needed to know to invest in your company. And apparently, the SEC seems to probably agree. And so that's why they're investigating to see if, like, did they disclose this? What is the extent of this? Now, according to Hoag Law, there is some kind of grounds for companies because if you're just asked some questions by a government agency, you don't really need to disclose that that was an investigation. But I think the words that he said is at the point where you start exchanging documents, that's when it becomes like a really big issue and that you should disclose it. But he also said that based on Activision Blizzard's first kind of response and being aggressive and acting like they didn't believe that they did anything wrong, this can actually hold a good legal response because it's one thing to intentionally mislead investors. It's another thing to do so accidentally because you're not smart enough to actually know that this was something that needed to be disclosed. Those are separate issues. So that's something Hoaglaw talks pretty in depth about in his video. So if that sounds interesting, I suggest going to watch that. I will link it in the description. But these are things that companies sometimes have leniency to disclose and not disclose. But at this point, it seems like Activision Blizzard should have disclosed the level they were at, especially since at this point, the state has actually sued the company. So this is like a major problem. It's for the investors that people who spent money on the stocks of the company thinking it's doing well when it's really not, they feel like they've been lied to and cheated. And then Activision Blizzard sent a statement to Wall Street Journal addressing the SEC investigation and the ongoing pressure Activision Blizzard faces from lawsuits and government agencies. We have made and are making a number of important changes to improve our policies and procedures to ensure that there is no place anywhere in our company for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind. So the reason I highlighted this is Blizzard's response to the SEC investigation. Basically, they confirmed with the Wall Street Journal that they were being investigated and that they were complying with the investigation, but they're also kind of reiterating their talking points and their, PR talk that we don't like harassment. We removed all those paintings of women and replaced them with fruit. See, we don't like harassment. They're doing their weird PR hollow things that they like to do. So, in my opinion, this seems really, really bad. It seems like I said, the company is now getting kind of bombarded by like legal things from every possible direction, and they have people leaving the company, which is what we're going to talk about now. Is they have higher ups leaving the company. This isn't even the first one. I've talked multiple times about higher ups leaving the company. We had the president of Blizzard, we had their CPO leave. We had there's been multiple higher up people leaving the company, and I know that there's more. I just can't think of them. And now we have another one, and it just seems like they just keep falling one after another, and it's like a domino, and eventually it feels like Bobby Kotick's going to be the last man standing with he's like holding the flag up at Alamo ready to be the last resistance. All right, so we have Blizzard Entertainment chief legal officer resigns. And this one's pretty short, and I think PC Gamer does a lot better job with their journalism than Kotaku does. So I didn't feel the need to just highlight specific things. We can just read these 4 or 5 paragraphs here and discuss them as we go. So, the chief legal officer at Blizzard Entertainment departed the company on Friday. Claire Hart filled that role for 3 years but announced her resignation on LinkedIn today. Now, I don't know how long like a CLO is supposed to stay at a company, but 3 years doesn't seem that long. That seems like really short. So possibly due to a lot of these legal pressures they're feeling, this person felt like they needed to step down at this time. Like, this is not good. I take maybe partial responsibility. I don't know. We'll go into what she says here. But it seems like this is due to a lot of these lawsuits as well as this investigation from the SEC maybe causing this like the final straw. So, after more than 3 years at Blizzard Entertainment, I have decided to move on to my next adventure. Friday was my last day, Hart wrote. The past 3 years have been full of unexpected twists and turns, but I feel honored to have worked with and met so many great people at Blizzard and across Activision Blizzard business. I'll be taking a short break before making my next move. Stay tuned. All right, so this seems like they're kind of like abandoning ship actually. So it doesn't seem like the company said, "Hey, you need to leave." I could be wrong. I'm just reading into what they said on LinkedIn, which doesn't really mean anything. But it seems like, "Hey, this isn't going well. Peace. I'm gonna go to greener pastures." That's what it seems like to me, from the way that this is written. It seems like they have another job already lined up, and they had been thinking about that, and they're like, "Yeah, Blizzard is it's rough right now. I'm gonna look at my options," and then they found a better one, and then they left. That's how I read into this. Of course, it's uneducated and just my opinion. So, but that's what it seems like from here, that they're kind of in this state where they're like, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. While Hart's departure comes amid a highly publicized harassment lawsuit and the SEC allegations and the SEC investigation at Activision Blizzard, Hart doesn't mention that in relation to her resignation. Of course she wouldn't, because if she mentions it, it makes that situation I just mentioned seem more credible depending on how she mentions it. Like, this investigation has kind of pushed me away from the company and I'm abandoning ship. Or B, it makes her seem like she's at fault since she is the CLO. She's in charge of she's the chief legal officer, right? So as far as legal matters go, she's up the highest. So either of those situations would be what people would draw if she mentioned it. So of course she's not going to mention it. We've reached out to Hart for comment and we'll update if we hear back. The harassment lawsuit has recently prompted the SEC to investigate. I don't know if it's the harassment lawsuit or if this is something due to the class action lawsuit, which I guess you could say the class action lawsuit happened because of the harassment lawsuit, which then caused this. So maybe, yeah, probably. Blizzard's handling of employee complaints about sexual misconduct and discrimination with several company executives, including CEO Bobby Kotick, subject to subpoenas. Right. And subpoenas just means give me these documents, right? Legally, you have to give me this. So, those are the two major things that have happened to Activision Blizzard in the last day or 2 days or whatever. And it's just every single week, it's like something new happens with this company and it's never good. It feels never good. I mean, 9.1.5 patch notes for World of Warcraft look like a good start, but if this kind of stuff keeps happening at the company, will it even live to see like a patch 9.3 or a new expansion? I don't know. I mean, the company has a lot of money, so it's hard to imagine that they won't live. But at this rate, it just seems like every possible body in the legal sense, as in like national and whatever states they operate in, it just seems like all of them are just going to start dogpiling on. And then eventually, Activision Blizzard is just going to, they're just going to be drowned by all of the lawsuits. And at this point, I don't even know. Like, it seems like this one issue was so rampant, so deep within the company that it caused just untold damage. And I mean, of course, to the people that it hurt, those are the people we should feel the worst for and have the most sympathy for, but also to the company as a whole. I feel horrible for the people who still work there and they have to deal with all of this. They just want to make good games. They love the way that Blizzard used to be. They love Call of Duty or whatever. They just want to make those games and they grew up with them. They love them and now they're dealing with this. I feel bad for them. I feel horrible for the people that had to deal with this harassment. And now it seems like every single government agency is just like, now's the time to strike. Gotta hit them while they're down. That's what it feels like. So I don't know. If let me know what you guys think. Do you think that at this point Activision Blizzard is just getting swarmed like a Zerg rush from every possible direction with lawsuits, or is this kind of just overblown and it doesn't really matter? And in the end, they're just going to be just as big as they ever were. They won't even notice this. They'll just brush it off. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like and consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean a lot to me and it would help out so much. But yeah, that's all for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.